Hi, welcome. Welcome again. If you're joining for the first time, my name is Dr. Ayo Adenuga. I'm a public health physician and the founder for Action for Twins and Moms Health. And if you're joining me again, thank you. Really appreciate your support, your subscriptions. I really appreciate the fact that you leave your feedbacks, you leave your comments. It's really nice, and I really do appreciate it. Today, I'm going to talk on a topic that is really dear to my heart. And recently, two moms did get to me to say, help, my teens are viewing porns. And it is not new. It is actually a very painful and distressing thing. And I want to let you know you are not alone. I have experienced it as well. A few months ago, my daughter, I was just checking her phone and I saw an app, and it was like a fantasy app. It was a game where it's like a novel whereby you have to like go in and tell the story yourself, and it is more sexual. Another time I saw a video that was very funny. In fact, I was in shock. I was like, oh my goodness, my daughter, my innocent daughter, what happened? Her heart has been broken. And I was almost panicking. I told my husband, let's do this, let's do that. I was like, yeah, we'll do that, but we need to speak to those children. So I read up on Tim Charles and other books, and here we are. This is becoming a more common trend, and it's not new. Statistics and research has shown that 52% of children would view porn one time or the other. In fact, 2% of searches again on the internet are on sex, on pornography. 9 out of 10 boys, by the time they are 18, and 6 out of 10, by the time they are 18, would have viewed porn one time or the other. So this is real. And they said children would have been exposed at least once to porn before age 12. Now, this is even more rampant because of this age whereby most of them have internet devices now, because post-COVID, everybody had to go virtual. Before you say, oh, until you're 13, before I get your phone, before you have internet access. But now, as little as 6, 7, 8, now they have their Chromebooks, they have internet access, and they can go on. You'd be like, oh, I've told them about it, and they're fine, and you just go off until you discover that this is not happening. So this is not new to man, and we should not be discouraged. One time or the other, I can tell you, the children will become exposed to porn, either due to just simple innocent searches on Google that will pop up as something else. I remember I was searching the internet for bead making with my son, and it was something else that popped up. Okay, out of curiosity, this child could go in and start, click on it, and that's how it will go on. So some might be exposed to it through friends, some might be exposed to it in school. So at one point or the other, sincerely, in the world of today, our children will be exposed to porn. Now, that's why I'm making this video, so that I can equip mothers with the knowledge and the tools to guard their children from being addicted to porn, because porn can be addicted. And pornography is explicit content that arouses sexual feelings that also can be addictive. Now, why is pornography bad? Number one, it's actually, as told, is stealing. It has been stealing, it's still stealing the time and energy of our teenagers and our youths. It takes a lot of their time and consume it. At this phase of their life, don't forget that they are not as busy, they don't have any responsibility, but they have high energy, and they can actually be consumed by pornography. It shows that at this stage, their brain is still forming, and they can easily get addicted to things. And they've made pornography or films, all those videos, and even some games, so that this explicit content can release what we call dopamine from the brain. And when dopamine is released, it leads to addiction. You want to look out for it, you are interested. And before you know it, the child is just addicted, wanting to consume it, getting excited whenever they have the opportunity to go on that site. So it's really real, it's painful, but we need to be equipped really with what to do to make sure that our teenagers, our children, are not addicted to porn. Another thing that is so bad about it is because it distorts their idea of what pure sexual relationship should be. They feel that sex is something you can have with anybody. You have to take the woman. It has to be violent. It has to be this, and they don't even know that many of those things, these people are actors that are being paid to do what they are supposed to do. Secondly, it distorts their view about how to approach a girl or how to have a healthy relationship with a girl or a man. So, in other words, this sexual arousal that has come up is unhealthy for their brain and for their health. It has even increased the incidences of rape, sexual harassment, stalking. It has increased all this. So, what am I saying? We need to prevent it before it starts. And how do we do this? I have 3 points solutions that we're going to do. We're going to talk about. The first one is pre-initiation. Pre-initiation is the time when your child is growing up, when the child starts having access to devices, either Xbox, either PlayStation, either their Chromebooks, computers, having access to them. What you need to do, first of all, is to talk to them, speak with them, let them know what sex is really about. Let them know what God's design for sex is. God's design for sex and sexual desires is something that helps a man and a woman to reproduce. Secondly, without sexual desires, you can't woo the woman you like, you can't get to your wife, you can't meet with your wife, and even when you do that, you need those sexual desires to keep you going back. So it's something that is good, something that is pure, something that is nice in the place of a relationship that is between a man and a woman. You need to let them know. You need to let them know that it is ordained by God. That's first. Secondly, you also need to engage them actively. Speak to them, ask them questions. What are they seeing on the internet? What are they doing? What are they coming across? It's important. You need to do this. But lastly, we need to pray. Pray, 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 pray. Oh my goodness. All those children are at risk. The world, the spirit of the age is there. You need to pray and to speak God's words into their life so that when they come across this thing, they have the ability to resist it. They have the ability to resist. They can't do it on their own. They can't do it on their own. It takes the power of God to really help them. So that is the pre-initiation. Before they even get to experience or come in contact with them, you need to sensitize them. Of course, it's age appropriate. You need to talk to them depending on their age and let them know the truth, the purity of sex and sexual desires. There's nothing wrong with it, but it has to be appropriate. The second thing is the initiation. Now they're exposed. What are you going to do? Now, I know so many people react to different things in different ways. Some will be matter of fact, okay, you've seen it, what are we going to do? And some are like, yay, my daughter, my son, they've been exposed to pornography. What happened to their heart? My innocent son, my innocent daughter. And it's not the end of the world. They are not unsavable, and things does not have to go downhill. What you have to do is to be calm. You have to speak with them. You have to know what the situation is. And again, don't shame. Sometimes we feel as if we have failed as parents. Sometimes we feel that we have our children are are like, oh, you this bad child, what have I done? Am I not enough? Am I not parenting you enough? We start feeling this kind of guilt that can make us react in a way that is not appropriate, that can make us act in a way that will even make us punish them even the more. So what should we do? You need to be calm. You need to talk to your child. You need to to counsel them. And this is the time where you can even have the opportunity to speak the word of God to them, to let them know that what they are doing is not appropriate, to let the Holy Spirit convict them, because you can't even do it alone. You have to see their need to change. Then plead with them. Plead, plead, plead. Let them know the consequence of doing pornography. Let them know the side effect. Let them know the repercussion. It's not just for don't do it sake. It's not just, oh, this is bad. But the fact that it has negative effect on their mental state, it has negative effect on their emotions, it has negative effect on their lives in general. And why do I say this? When they are addicted to porn, at the end of the day, you find out that they are never satisfied even as they grow up with the normal sexual relationship. All they are thinking about is the videos, and these people are actors, really. It's not normal, or they start looking for violence in sex. So we need to talk to them. They need to ask them questions as well. When that happens, ask them the reason why. What is the motive? Now, different people have different motives, really, for going on to porn. Some is because of their friends are viewing the porn, and then they join in on the chat, group chats. Some people is out of curiosity. Well, teenagers are curious. Some of them have sexual curiosity and they want to know what is it like, how is it like to kiss, how can I kiss well, all those kind of things. And then lost. Some other reason is that some people have experienced some kind of abuse that makes them go in to start viewing porns. And some people is because of masturbation. They're trying to fulfill that need for masturbation. So you need to find out the reason why they are doing it. And some people, it's out of rebellion. They just want to rebel. They'll make sure you see that they are doing porn, just because they just don't want to be obedient. They want to rebel. So knowing all those reasons will help you to know what need are they satisfying and for you to adequately help them. Because without knowing, without learning, you cannot lead. So that is part of the things that we need to find out. Now, this is the post initiation. We don't want to get there though. So you need to put everything together. It's not as if there is part one, part two, part three. It's pari passu. So you have to do everything synchronously. But I have put it into three parts so that you know what to do. And this is after the child has been exposed, there has to be consequences, really. Okay, you have to remove some privileges from them. Like my daughter, I took away her phone, for a while. I was like, okay, you did this. This is a breach of confidence, a breach of trust. I know your character, you're a good girl, but for now, I'm going to take away your phone. So I did take away her phone because the reason why she had it in the first place was for communication. I wanted to make sure that we are able to communicate. Of course, I had internet access and she was able to download games. And sometimes you click on games, like blog games, and all those fantasy novels will come on. And out of curiosity, they will click it. But we are praying that when they do this, they're able to even stop at the point and say, okay, I'm not supposed to go here. But unfortunately, with curiosity, they go on. And if you're not careful, some of them can get addicted. So that's number one. You have to take away some privileges. You have to let them know there are some consequences. The second is you have to put in protective mechanism, internet security. They can't do it on their own. Naturally, these children are curious. Naturally, they would want to, explore things. And because they are the age whereby their sexuality, their hormones are coming up, they are bound to go there. But how do you help them as a parent? How do you help them in not being exposed unnecessarily to all those things? It's by putting in internet security in your house. Get an audit of all the devices in your home, the phones, the Chromebooks, the computers, the Xbox, the PlayStations, the smart TVs, anything that has internet access, take an audit on it and put it under security, internet security. There are some that will filter and like open DNS, whereby it will block automatically any questionable sites or any advert or anything that it's not okay. It will block it immediately. Some will give you reports. That's accountability. Every week it will give you report in case they type in something like naked girl or naked boy, immediately to give you a report at the end of the week. Another one is parental control, which is what we also use. We use parental control on the internet so to block out the sites that they're not supposed to go to immediately. So that kind of helps them. But sincerely, believe you me, before we used to pay money. Okay, some of this are paid. Before, you used to pay money to have access to Playboy or M&B, or when I was growing up, Dowda the sexy guy. They have to pay money to even get them. But now you have to pay money to stop it from coming to you, because the whole place is filled with porn, and there's a huge market for it, millions of market for porn, and it's become normal. So please, you need to consider this and create passwords. Create passwords for all your devices. Advise your children not to share their passwords with anybody. Everybody should have an account and be able to account for what they are using, so you can monitor them. Now, you can't do all this, like my husband will say, without communication. Communication is an ongoing thing. The first thing you have to do is to have a family meeting. Let them know about your concerns. Let them know about the measures you are taking, because it will be inconvenient for some people, really. It will be. So let them know what the inconveniences that they might experience. There are some sites you will not be able to go to. There are some that are even okay, but you can't access them just because of that, what you've put in place. So what should we do? Put in passwords, speak with them, let them know what you've done, so that they would be well informed. Let them also know that there's no privacy with using of devices anymore. Before it's, let's give our children some privacy. There is no privacy where it's concerned, because you need to help them. You need to protect them. You need to let them know that this is for their good, out of safety, out of values, out of just care and love for them. The third thing is, then you have to have a one-on-one meeting with them as well. So this is under the meeting, family meeting, a one-on-one meeting. One-on-one meeting is asking deliberate questions just for your own understanding. Number one, ask them, are you able to access everything you need on the internet? They will answer yes or no. Secondly, do you find that you are tempted to go on sites or to search out for things that you ought not to? Ask them also, are there some of your friends that speak about porn or share pornographic content? So that you would know. Third, ask them, do you find out that you've been going, if it has happened before, have you gone back to view pornographic things the last time we spoke? So that is a continuous conversation you need to have with your children. And the third is monitoring. Monitoring. Don't say, I've spoken to them, they are good, I've put internet security in, they are good, because sometimes internet and technology can fail. So what should you do? Speak with them. Monitor their use, even if it's every 2 weeks or once a month. Monitor their use, engage them, make sure that they know the reason why you are doing it is not because you don't trust them, but just to keep them safe. So these are the things that are the few things I've spoken about. So what are we doing? Number one, it is real. Pornography is real. All our children are going to be exposed one time or the other, if you like it or not. The age at which they are being exposed is dropping every day, because many of them are using internet-based technologies now, either in school, at home, in whatever community, they would get exposed to it, and the age is reducing. So what should we do? Like I said, one, speak with your children, let them know what the real thing, ideal thing should be. Pray for them. It's important. Communicate with them. The second thing is, when they're exposed, be calm. Address the issue. Make it a time whereby you can speak to them about God, about their values, about their character. Don't shame them, okay? Don't shame them, but let them know that you understand where they're coming from, but it needs to stop because of the damaging effect. Also, ensure that you understand them, ask them deliberate questions, then provide security. We have to be the parents that would be deliberate to help those children. We can't leave it to chance. We can't leave it to their own way, because their brains are not developed to take this kind of decisions. And it's also important that the father and the mother have to be aligned. They have to be on the same page. If not, there'll be mixed messaging and messages, and this can be detrimental. So thank you, thank you, thank you again. What I want you to do after now is to write down or write in the comments the actions you would take as a mother to proactively help your teen and have a porn-free family. Okay, what actions will you take? So write it in. What actions have you taken in the past that has worked for you, and what actions will you take now to help your teen from being a porn addict? Thank you again. I really appreciate you joining. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe, because then when I release new videos you would have access to it, and you'd be good to go. So yes, thank you, and see you next time. God bless. Love you all. Bye. Cheers.